Hi, I'm Leo and welcome to School Dummy. In this tutorial, I'll be going over JavaScript operators and we'll be looking at arithmetic operators, comparison operators, and relational operators. Alright guys, at the end of this tutorial, if you think the video was helpful, please hit the like button, and if you have anything to say or any questions, just leave a comment, and if you're new, please consider subscribing for more updates.
Alright, we're going to start with the arithmetic operators. Now basically the arithmetic operators are operators you know from mathematics, although we'll be adding one or two that are kind of new or different. Okay, let's start with the plus operator. Now we use the plus operator for two things. One is to add numbers and two is to concatenate strings. So when I come here and say 3 plus 2 and save, now when I go to my browser and reload, we're going to get 5. So we use that to add numbers. Now the second one is to concatenate strings, and what that means is to join or to combine stuff. Alright, so when I put this quotation mark, I am indirectly saying that this is a string. So when I save and go back to my browser and reload, you'd see it's going to be 32. Now it's not going to add them as numbers, it's going to join them as strings. Now you can do this but with text. For example, when I come here and say hello and I want to say hello there. So when I do this and come here and put there, now when I save and go back to my browser, you'll notice it's going to say hello there. So these are the two things we do with the plus operators, to add numbers and concatenate strings. Alright, the next one is the minus operator. So we use that to subtract numbers. So when I come here and say 3 minus 2, when I save and go back to my browser, you'll notice it's going to say 1. Now we use the plus sign to concatenate, but we don't actually use the minus sign to do that. So when I come here and let's say I want to represent this number in form of a string, and I say 2 plus 2, and so when I do this and save, notice that it's going to concatenate these two numbers, giving me 22, but then it's going to subtract this one. It's not going to concatenate everything, it's only the plus part that is going to concatenate, and it's going to subtract the minus part. So when I save this, I'm going to be getting a very funny answer, and that is 20. So what happened here is it combined this 2 and 2 to get 22, and it subtracted 2 from it. Alright, for division we use the forward slash. So when I come here and I say 3 forward slash 2, that's 3 divided by 2. Now when I go to my browser and reload, you can see I have 1.5. Now let me change this to 5. Now 5 divided by 2, when I come here and reload, you'll notice we have 2.5. so the whole number here is 2. Now when you want to find out what the remainder is, instead of putting a forward slash here, you put the percent symbol. So when I save this, it's not going to give me the number of times 2 could divide 5, but it's going to give me the remainder. So when I go back to my browser, 2 can go into 5 like 2 times, and we're going to have 1 as our remainder. So that's the remainder, that's what it's going to give you. Alright, the next one is the multiplication operator, and we use that to multiply numbers. So when you go to your keyboard, I think it's on the number 8. So when I save this and go back to my browser, it's going to give me 10. So this is more like your basic arithmetics. Alright, next is the pre-increment and the post-increment. Now the difference between these two is the pre-increment is going to add 1 to the number and give you the final answer, while the post-increment is going to add 1 but it's going to give you the initial number, not the number after addition. So that's the basic difference. Now we use this post increment a lot in our loop or while loop. We also use that in our if else statement and stuff like that. So when I come here and say let z be plus plus x, so this is the pre-increment. It means the plus signs, they're going to come before the letter. So when I save this, my answer is going to be 6. So it's going to add 1 and give it as the final answer. Now when I go back and use the post increment and put the plus sign after the number, now when I save and go back to my browser, notice it has added 1 but it's still going to give me the initial value there. It's not going to give me the one with the addition. So you can see I still have 5 here. Now we use this a lot, like I said, for our loop and our if else statements. So the next one is the pre-decrement and the post decrement. So they also do the same thing. For the pre-decrement, it's going to subtract 1 from your number and give you the final answer, while the post increment is going to subtract 1 but it's not going to give you that answer. It's going to give you the initial value. So when I come here and say minus minus x, which is my pre-decrement, when I save, you notice my answer is going to be 4. But when I come here and put my post decrement, which would be x minus minus, now when I save and go back to my browser, even though it has subtracted 1 from this, it's still going to give me 5. So that's the basic difference between the pre-increment and post increment, and the pre-decrement and the post decrement. Alright, next is the comparison operators. Now there are 3 types of comparison operators. One is abstract equality, 2 strict equality, and 3 relational operators. But we're going to start with this 2. We'll deal with relational operators later. Now for the strict and abstract equality, now 2 values are considered to be strictly or abstractly equal if they refer to the same object. So the basic difference between the abstract equality and the strict equality is that the abstract equality performs a type conversion before making a comparison, while the strict equality does not perform a type conversion before making any comparison. So what I mean is, okay, here I have let x be equal to 5 and y equal to 5 also. Now I want to perform this operation, which would be x plus y. Now if when I put 2 equal sign here, that will mean abstract equality. Now when I save this and go to my browser and reload, notice I'm going to have 10 as my answer. Now that's because these 2 numbers are equal. Now when I add another equal sign, which would be strict equality, is still going to give me the same answer. Now it's going to give me the same answer because they are both true. But when I come here and say let x be equal to 5, now this is abstract equality, but notice what I have here is more like a string, not a direct number. So when I save this, it's still going to give me 10 because the abstract equality is going to convert that string to a number and then perform the operation. So you can see my answer is 10. But when I come here and add another equal sign, meaning it's now strict equality. Now strict equality will now perform this conversion. It's going to work with it the way it is, and this is not a number, so it's going to say nope, not equal. So that's the basic difference. You can see it says nope, not equal. So that's the basic difference between the abstract equality and the strict equality. The abstract equality will perform a conversion, a type conversion, before performing the operation, while the strict equality will not perform this type operation. Alright, the last one is the relational operators. Now for the relational operators, we have the less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. Now the relational operators compare values in relation to one another, and this works well or perfectly for objects or data types that have a natural order. For example, your A to Z, you start from A, B, C, like that. There's a natural order. And your 1, 2, 3, you start from 1 and down to infinity. So it's important because naturally 1 comes before 2 and 2 before 3. So for data types with this natural order, you can use relational operators. Now we use this a lot in our if else statement and also in our loop. Now for example, when I come here and say x is 5 here and y is 7, now I want to do this operation only when x is greater than y. Now x is less than y here, so it's going to say nope, check again. So when I go to my browser and reload, you'll notice it's going to say nope, check again. Now but when I come here and say let x be less than y, now when I save and go back to my browser, because x is less than y here, is going to actually perform this operation. So you can see my answer is 12. Now same happens with the less than or equal to. Now when I put less than or equal to, and when I save and go back, you'll notice it's going to perform the operation. And when I say greater than here or equal to, x is less and it's not even equal, so it's not going to perform this operation. So it's going to say nope, check again. So you can see it says nope, check again. But when I come here and change the value to 5, now they are equal. So when I save and go back to my browser, you'll notice it's going to actually perform the operation. So that's that for relational operators. Alright, I'm really sorry about the audio quality. My microphone is bad, so I had to use this one. Alright, thanks guys for watching.